Okay, so let's get started on this window regulator. I'm gonna go right here. See about popping this off. Of course, I'm using a nice plastic trim tool so I don't damage anything. I'm gonna come right inside here, little hidden panel, and inside there you're gonna see a mounting screw, so we'll remove that. We're gonna come right here, lift up on this, disconnect the wiring, same thing, disconnect the wiring. If you look underneath here, you see another little hatch. Pop that up, take out that screw. Just gonna feel along the side of the door and along the bottom, just to make sure that there's no extra screws. Take my trim tool, and come right along the bottom until I feel it stop. And I'm gonna just try to tug it apart. One more up here, I feel. Remove this. It's just got a couple little tabs. Just gonna push it on that ear. And the same on this one. Disconnect that. Let's remove our panel. So right behind here, you're gonna be able to see your window glass. You're gonna see this white little tab right down there. That's what's holding the glass to the window regulator. For the other side, right behind this speaker, we're gonna have the same thing. So we're gonna take off the speaker using our Torx bit, T20. We'll remove all 4 of these screws. Speaker off of there. I'm just gonna remove it for good measure. We can see right inside, right where it is. So if you look inside the door panel here, you're gonna see this wiring and that right there. We're gonna remove that from its secured point and also disconnect it. Right here's the squeeze tab. Squeeze that, separate the 2 wires. So if you look inside here, you're gonna see this metal rod that goes up to the inside door handle there. You wanna take off the little locking tab. So you can see that it moved. At this point, I can take that rod, separate it. We're just gonna use a tape measure and bring the window down approximately 8.5 inches from the top. We're gonna start disconnecting some wiring here. Got a little blue tab. So we're gonna follow this wiring right here. Disconnect these 2. There we go. We're gonna remove these bolts using a T27. Okay, at this point, you're either going to want to have some painter's tape or something that's going to be able to hold the window up. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look right inside here, and you can see this little hooky-doo that's going through the window glass. We're going to need to push that away from the window and pull the window up. There's one right here, and there's another one located through the speaker hole, which is the reason why we removed the speaker. I'm just going to take my flat screwdriver, lift up and push in on it. It should want to go. So now you can see the other one. There's the little clip. I'm just going to take my small pocket screwdriver, come right around the back side of the glass, and I should be able to just pry on that carefully and pull that hook right out of the glass. And then hopefully it'll want to lift up once I get it far enough. There it is. Okay, so now I can move the glass up and down. We need to make sure we safely secure it so it can't fall. Try to make at least 3 or 4 rolls here, or strips. Tape's cheaper than glass. At this point, we're going to disconnect the motor. Just have a little squeeze tab. We're going to remove the 3 mounting bolts for the motor. All right. Just going to pull the wiring harness out of its little clippy-doos here. Try to give us a little bit of slack. We're going to remove our 10mm mounting bolts. So the bolts for the panel are off now. We just have the sticky goo that's holding the panel onto the door. But something that I want to note is this bolt right here, this one, and this is what's going to hold the regulator to this panel. You're going to need another Torx bits for that, and it's a T27. Okay, so you can see where the latch and everything is starting to pull through. So if you look up in the corner, you're going to see another one of those rods with a little hooky-doo latch on there, or lock. We're going to take that off of the rod as well. There we go. That rod disconnected now. Just going to carefully maneuver this. So now we have a clear view of our window regulator. You can see where it goes up and down, cables and everything. This is where the mounting bolt is. At this point, we're going to go on the other side and we're going to remove those Torx bits that I was telling you about, the Torx headed bolts. One here, here, down there, down there. There we are, friends. All right, so we have our old window regulator here with the motor. We've got our brand new window regulator, also with a brand new motor. We just want to make sure that they line up, everything's about the same. It looks great. Let's continue with the install. Okay, so if you look at the door panel, you're going to see these little nubs, and they're just underneath where the mounting holes are. That's to mount into here. So you just put your window regulator up, get it so it lines up with those little nubs. Do the same for both. Whether they'll stay or not until we get them bolted, I can't tell you, but at least we know that it's going to line up and it's going to fit just right. Let's get these little mounting bolts started in here. Not going to tighten it until I get both of them on the same side started, of course. Make sure it's tight. Same for this side. Both started. Let's snug them up. So make sure you have your wiring going across. There's a little hooky-doo right here. Just set it right inside there. Take both these rods, make sure they're standing straight up. Now we're going to put it inside the door. There we go. Grab one of your bolts and just start it in there a little bit, just to hold the panel from falling down on you. Before we continue, we're going to go back on the inside of this door panel and reconnect our rods and the wiring. I'll go for the small rod first. All right, so I got both the rods. Let's reconnect the wiring here. The area with our squeeze tab. Slide it in, give it a tug. You need to make sure it's secured. There's those little holes in the inside door. Tab squeezed in there. Okay, that's secured. We have our 3 bolts for our door latch. We're gonna start these in. Now we're gonna move along to starting all the bolts in the door panel, and then we'll tighten them all up at once. Okay, in case you get to this point and you notice that for some reason the window regulator isn't lined up with the inside door panel here, maybe this hole is up and hiding behind there and you're like, boo, I don't want to take this all back apart. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. Loosen this one, just enough so you can move it around and hopefully get these holes lined up again. Once it is, tighten them back up and continue on with what you're doing. Let's snug these up. Move along to that door panel. Let's get our motor installed. Give it a tug. Beautiful. Let's reconnect in the wiring so it's secured. That's pretty good. get these connected back in. Make sure they're definitely in there. So now we're just going to check to make sure that the latch works before we can continue. That would be the door shut position. Now we're going to open it. That looks like it worked. Perfect. So now we're going to hold our window and carefully remove all of our tape. Slowly lower the window down. You're going to see it coming down this way, and it should want to latch right into the window regulator. Make sure it's on this side as well. Yeah, it's looking good. There it is. You can see that it latched in right there. That's very important. You also want to make sure it latches in on the other side. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now we're going to connect in our window switch, put the key power on, and test to make sure this works. Let's go up. Beautiful. And down. Perfect. At this point, you can leave it wherever you want. I'm going to leave it down a little bit just in case the doors are locked. I'll also put down the passenger window. So let's get our speaker back in. Line that up. You have a little slot. Make sure the wire goes through that. And it's not getting pinched anywhere. Start in all your screws before you tighten any of them down. Snug them up. So at this point, you want to make sure you have all your little push pins inside the door panel, because those are going to be going into these right here. You also want to make sure you have this ready to go. It's going to go right inside here. Slide it through there, bring it around, pull that, clip it in. That's going to go up there in a second. We need to pay attention to these wires, make sure we get everything wired in. You have an electrical connector here for the little light. Okay, we're going to bring this up. You want to make sure that the door lock goes through the hole in the panel. Then this is going to slide right down onto here. Make sure it's all the way down. Once it is, a couple loving bonks. Make sure it's secured. That feels great. We have our wiring. Get this one hooked up. This way. It's going to slide in here. Let's give it another test before we go any further. The door's closed. Door's open. Closed. Open. Let's give the locks a try. Lock. Unlock. Lock. Unlock. So we have our two screws. We remember one goes inside this and one goes right in there. Little plastic covers. Okay, so now you just clean up your area, make sure the window's clean, and just double check to make sure everything works. These are going to clip right in there. Beautiful.